Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Are Forza podcast. And here with me, I have PTG Jamie. Hey, hi, Jamie. How are you doing?
Good. Yourself?
Hi. I'm doing fine, thank you. It's nice to be back after a quick break, and it's nice to be back talking to you and talking about tuning and everything. But first, we are going to talk a little about you and Forza. Let's see
Okay.
how everything happened and how it started. Let's see. So, what's the first Forza game you have ever played?
That'll be the first Forza, the one on the regular Xbox before the 360.
Okay, so it was the first Forza. It's Forza
Yeah,
Motorsport, right? Yeah,
yeah, that's right.
yeah. That one I have never played. Probably never will. Only if I can find it. I don't know. Maybe I can find it used. Yeah. And what's your favorite car?
Like in the game or real life? I don't know.
Can be both.
I don't.
Just
I don't. I love all of them. Honestly, I just like
yeah,
cars a lot. I don't really have a favorite. I mean, I've gotten to see and do a lot in the real world
yeah,
with a lot of cars that a lot of people haven't,
yeah.
and I'm very grateful for that. But I honestly, I get asked that often about, do I have a favorite car, and I just don't. There's just so many that I like all of them, really. I mean, even the ones that people don't love, I guess. I mean, it's still all really neat to me.
Okay. And what about your favorite track? Do you have one favorite track, or it's just like cars? You don't have a favorite.
Well, so for a favorite track that I would have to say for me in real life is going to be Road America, because I've spent so much time there in real life.
Hmm.
Um,
So do you live close to it, or you have
yeah,
to travel? Okay.
yeah, I live. I could probably be there, maybe a little over an hour.
Okay.
And that's only because you can't speed all the way there to get there. There's a highway that is just slow through. It's in a lot of a farming area, so
Yeah.
it's very rural. Um, but yeah, like about an hour and a half or so from my house, and I've taken my kids there with my wife when they were growing up. I mean, when they were really
Yeah.
small. So that would be a favorite track that I have in real life, just because I have so many good memories there.
Yeah. Yeah. But when you are playing in the game, is that a track you like to
Yeah,
play?
there's a lot. There's a lot. Like I love in motorsports, I love Maple Valley. Always did. I don't know why. I just think that that's because that's where I've had a lot of laughs with the community, a lot of really hard battles. Coming down the hill at Maple Valley, and then in the old games, the pits were on the left side, and then the newer ones, the pits are on the right side. But
Yeah.
what would happen is people would charge down the hill in
Mm.
a race, and somebody would end up crashing and going right into the pits. So
Okay.
a lot of laughs there. Monza is another good one where I've had a lot of just that track alone is really cool to have and play
Yeah.
with friends in the game. So I would say that those two, besides Road America, of course.
Yeah.
Um, but in game, I think in motorsport, those are going to be two of the funnest ones I think we've had together with the community.
Yeah. 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 I think you are the first one who says Maple Valley here has a favorite in game. Yeah, I really need someday to take to rewatch all the episodes and write favorite track and list favorite track and have like a database because
Yeah, yeah. There's so I love having the real tracks in the game.
yeah,
That's very cool, right? But also the creativity of the way that those make believe tracks were put together in motorsport over the years, have a lot of fan favorites. Like the Prague track was really fun. You don't need to have a real track in order to have a good time. And I think that's where I would say some of my favorites come from, is because of playing there with people in the community, whether they were friends or just strangers in the
Yeah.
lobby, so on and so forth. Met a lot of people that way.
Yeah. And but do you have a least favorite track in game? One that you really don't like to race?
Wow. Yeah, that one in the sand, that one was in Forza Motorsport 7. I forget,
Okay.
is it Abu Dhabi or not Abu Dhabi? I forget what that one's called. Yeah, I forget about it because I don't like it that much.
It's better just to delete from the mind. And
Yeah,
yes.
I don't remember the name of it. It's a made up, it's a make believe track that they have.
Yeah.
But it's
Is it
not one of my.
is Dubai? No.
Yeah, Dubai, is that what it is? Yeah,
I
maybe
don't
that's
know.
what it is.
I think I don't know. I don't know. Sorry.
Yeah, you go around like this. It does like a 180, and then
Yeah.
these like cannons go off where they have the confetti.
So you don't like? That's okay. I think you're the first one naming this track at all. I mean,
Yeah.
I think no one has ever said its favorite or least favorite. So yeah, it's
Okay.
nice. Mm.
Yeah.
It's nice. You are not like the others. You have a different taste.
No, probably not.
So when did your passion for cars and the racing started? Since you were a little boy, or
Yeah,
when you were a little older?
I get asked that one a lot, even by
Mhm.
family members. I don't know. It's just the way I was made, I guess. I can remember just always liking cars and motorcycles,
Yeah.
racing, and that's it. Everything, even my birthday cake has to have a car on it or something.
Okay. Does it still have to have
Sometimes, yes. Sometimes, yeah. Yeah, you put a Hot Wheel on there or something. Yeah.
Yeah, also think
Yeah.
your wife go to take
Yeah.
the cake and she orders, oh, it's a cake for your son. No, it's for my husband.
Yep, that's right. Yep. That's right. There's no shame in that for me either. I'll tell people that myself proudly. No problem.
Do your kids like cars also?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate for that. I'm very fortunate that my wife has also put up with all of the motorsports
Yeah.
that I've been around. So I've been married for 28 years,
Yeah.
and she has always gone to the racetrack with me.
That's nice.
Yeah, we've gotten to meet so many great people.
Mhm.
Roger Penske, Paul Newman, David Letterman,
Oh.
Bobby Rahal. She met Patrick Dempsey. That was a big one for her. That was very.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
McDreamy.
she was very happy with that. Very happy with that.
I totally get her.
Yeah, and so I've gotten to meet a lot of drivers and stuff like that, but she's always come with me.
Mhm.
And then the boys always came with me, and our boys now are 23 and 20,
Mhm.
and they both love motorsports. They both love racing. They both love the car scene. They're in their own car scene themselves with their cars,
Yeah.
and their friends. Some high dollar things that they've accomplished as well.
Yeah.
They go to the racetrack now without me, which is
Yeah.
it's kind of sad sometimes, right? And they send me pictures like, and I'm like, yeah, but I should be there, So just this last time they did take me along. That was nice. I sat in the back seat and everything.
Do your kids play? Do they play Forza also, or
Yeah.
they don't like? Okay.
No, they do. They do.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah. And
That's
no,
nice.
they don't like my tunes. They're like, Dad, no. They make their own. They have their
Oh, that's
own
nice.
favorites and stuff like that.
Okay,
So-
that's nice. They can do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's their preference, right? Just like anybody else.
Yeah.
That's just how it goes.
Yeah, but I understand that. We are going to talk about tuning later, but yeah, I know there are tune of a few people I just can't use because they have their style tuning, and
Yeah,
they are not good for me for my terrible skills.
yeah,
So,
yeah, right. I mean,
yeah,
that's just like anybody who paints a car. You
yeah,
like that. Boy, that design looks like a mess, but then some people love it.
yeah.
It's
Oh,
it's
yeah,
it's always a preference, and
yeah,
I'm always respectful of those preferences.
yeah. I think it's like
And I
we are all different, and
Yes,
we like different things, and we have different styles for driving and the tuning. So yeah, no,
right,
that's
exactly,
great.
exactly.
Yeah. So let's see. Now let's talk about. Usually, I ask people about the gamer tag, but yours it's a little obvious PTG because we're from PTG, and
Yeah,
Jamie, I guess it's your name.
yeah.
But well, were you always PTG Jamie? I guess not.
No,
So, so
no.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
originally my gamer tag was Spoiled Jamie,
Spoiled
and
Jamie. Okay,
yeah, and that was
I
given
get
to
it. All those car cakes.
yeah, and that was because when I got the 360 to play
Yeah,
Forza Motorsport 2,
yeah.
I had to have it, so I went out and got it, and then my wife,
Mm.
when it was time to name myself, she was like, "How about Spoiled Jamie? Because you get everything you want or whatever." And I'm like, "Fine, that's it."
Okay,
So I spelled it all in caps, but then spoiled was spelled with a 0 and a 1,
okay.
and then a number 1 in Jamie. So um, a little bit different, and
Yeah,
the gamer tag wasn't taken back
yeah,
then when the 360 came out.
yeah,
So I was in another team at the time. It
yeah.
was called Poor Boys Tuning, and
Poor,
then we
poor boys.
yeah, Poor Boys,
Yeah,
yeah,
poor boys. Okay.
and then we merged with Turbo Tuners at the
Yeah,
time, and then we became PB Turbo,
Tibitor.
and
Okay.
then I don't think that the group really ever like quit or anything. I think people just they just moved on with life and
Yeah,
so on and so forth. I see some of them sometimes once in a while.
yeah,
Um, I know Snake Eyes was always around in PB. Flu X was also. So I've
yeah.
known some of those players now. I mean, we're getting close to what 15, 17 years.
Mm. So all these clubs you are talking about are clubs
Yeah,
in Forza Motorsport.
right.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
Yeah, that's all it was all motorsport.
Yeah,
And then of course when the Horizon series came out, then we continued in those games as well. But
yeah.
um so for a long time I was kind of like solo, and uh Stuzy B, Brains, and uh, PTG Fox, they had contacted me through the forums or something like that, and then
Mm.
I started playing with them, and then I met PTG Coops, and then they invited me into being in PTG, and I
Yeah,
didn't want to I didn't want to change my gamer tag, and that was a big thing because I had built a reputation for myself. So
yeah.
I was really hesitant on that, to be honest, but I was like, you know what? It's make believe. I'll do it anyway. So and so I did, and the gamer tag was a lot shorter,
Yeah,
um, and I got to use my real name again, so that
yeah.
when people would say my name when we were racing online, I knew they were talking about me.
Mm.
Um, so I was, like I said, I was reluctant, and then here, here I was joining this team, and it wasn't very big at the time.
Yeah,
It just wasn't. It wasn't what it is now. That's
yeah,
for sure,
yeah.
and that was great. But now we're rather large, we're rather involved, and
Mm.
that's great too. It's I've seen it come from a a busy area to a really busy area.
Yeah.
And then I've just continued to do what I do. They've never put restrictions on me as to what I do for tunes or
Yeah.
my involvement in anything in collaborating with other people or other teams within the Forza community.
Yeah. And that's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's been a long ride for sure.
How long have you been a PTG? Have you been a PTG member?
I do have that somewhere. I do have an actual date, but I'm gonna say it was right around Forza Motorsport 5 going
Okay.
at the end of 5 going into 6, I believe.
Okay.
Maybe a little earlier into 5.
Okay.
Yeah. So
It's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So now I have a question. One of those that you need to think a little.
Okay.
What does Forza mean to you?
I mean, for me,
For you.
I just smile. Like it's just, I just think of all of the laughs I've had. For me, it's just like I don't know. It gives me a lot of joy. A lot of I think of all of the things that Forza has become for me. Is the community for the most part, playing with friends, you just hanging out, relaxing. I use it a lot when I sit down and do like a tuning session. I'll do it like after work. After I've had a hard day at work, I could just sit down and relax, and then I think about things while I'm doing some tunes, and just kind of decompress a little bit. I use it for that, and so for Forza, for me, is a time to relax and kick back, have some fun.
Yeah. Nice. So now let's go to talk about what you do in Forza. That's tuning. So what came first, Forza or tuning? I will explain. Did you already know how to tune a car before you start playing Forza?
Yeah.
How it worked?
Yeah, so like in real life, yes, I knew how to do all of that stuff. I had firsthand encounters with that. Was able to, whether if it was a repair or helping somebody or just doing it for fun. So I had all that done. And again, spent a lot of time at racetracks. Spent a lot of time reading, understanding. I went to school. I had blueprint reading, drawing. I mean, I knew all of that, how all of that would go together. And so that actually helped me out a lot, especially when I was racing radio controlled vehicles. I would race RC cars on the weekend. And I did win a championship for that. But the cars were put together just like a real car would be. So with the toe in, toe out, the caster, the softening of suspensions, anti-roll bars front and rear, the whole thing. So when Forza started to get that technical, I was able to jump right in, and I think that's what made me a little bit more successful on that part, is because I knew what to do right away. Okay. Now the values and everything within the Forza games are different than what would be in real life. You can't just go like 2 clicks to the left or to the right, but having to understand how that works in the game, and of course doing a lot of testing, that's really how I started taking off, and it was really a niche that I like to be in.
Let's talk how the game has improved from Forza. Let's talk only about Forza Motorsport. From the first Forza Motorsport and to the last one so far, the Forza Motorsport 7. How much has improved the tuning? Because how was it to start? It was much more simple. What do you have to do for tuning the car, or it has always been the way it is now?
No, the one thing like between the games,
Hmm.
I never import a tune from one game to the other
Yeah.
because the way that that tune was made for that particular game.
Okay.
So when a new game comes out, I won't take an original tune from FM7 into the new one. I won't do
Okay.
that. Every single tune is going to be from scratch. I've done the same thing for Horizon because there are elements that are different between each of the games. One
Yeah.
setting on one game is basically only for that game. A lot of that
Okay.
stuff will not transfer over well into the new game.
Okay.
So I start from scratch on each
Yeah.
game, and the biggest differences are the feeling of how it works. I believe when Forza Motorsport 5 came out,
Yeah.
they, and even, I think it's even in the introduction. I don't know if it's Chris Sasaki that's talking or Dan Greenwald, but they actually show the tire flex on the intro to the game,
Yeah.
and that so again, a new feeling was added into Forza Motorsport, so that didn't come from the last one. So each game has its own feeling, and I have had to adjust how I make the cars work and feel when I share them as well.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. I mean, I understand. I understand the difference between Forza Motorsport and Forza Horizon because they are different
Yeah,
styles. I think that's why for me it's much easier to drive in Forza Horizon than in Forza Motorsport.
sure. Yeah.
It's for me it's very
Well, there's
complicated in Forza
well in
Motorsport.
in like a Horizon game, you can take any car you want and just like go off
Mm,
road. You can
yeah,
just go. And I think that the freedom that game has is fantastic.
yeah, that's true. But it's also true that when I play Forza Motorsport, I try to play manual, so I'll change the gear myself. While in
Yeah,
Forza Horizon, go automatic because there are way too many trees. I
yeah,
needed to reverse, and so
yeah.
I think for me on Forza Motorsport, even though it's harder to drive, it's easier for me to play manual. While in Forza Horizon, it's the other way around. It's easier to drive, but it's harder to play changing gear myself because I get so confused with all the buttons and too many trees, and I don't know
But
to explain it. It's just hard in
yeah,
Forza Horizon. I don't know why.
no, but you see, that's like the most beautiful part about this series is you have things like assists, right?
Mm,
They're that's how you play. I play completely different, but we're still
mm,
enjoying the game because they
yeah,
have those kinds of things built in.
yeah,
So if someone likes to drive without traction control on, but they
mm,
like ABS, they can do that. If
yeah,
they need help with braking, if they need help, with
yeah,
steering, there's all those assists that are built in there so they can really make it an E for everyone game.
exactly.
And
Yeah.
and
And
now
now,
with the
just keep
no
talking.
with the new one, there's so many things like for people who are hard of seeing,
Yeah,
um,
yeah,
you know, there's they're making it adaptable for that, and
yeah,
that just means like that's gonna be more people out on the racetrack with us
yeah,
having
yeah. That's
fun. I
true.
mean, I look forward to it because I hope to gather a lot of new friends.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. It's nice the accessibility they are giving
Yeah,
to people, so it doesn't matter if you have some difficulties for playing, for seeing, for hearing,
right,
for everything. You are capable to play anyway, and yes, that's very nice. I really liked when I saw that the new Forza Motorsport would make in a way that people that can't see so well or are totally blind can still play the game, and that's very nice. And I can see on Twitter uh, how happy they are.
right,
It's very nice. I saw recently a tweet about someone that's saw. I think he has played the preview from Forza Motorsport because it was before the game was out. Of course, this this episode
Yeah.
is before from the game is out, and he wrote on his tweet. I played Forza Motorsport and I won for the first time in my life. I was able to win a race in a racing game. So for them, it means a lot. All
Yeah.
this improvement of quality of life for has a quality of a gamer life. It's very nice. It's I
Yeah.
like I
I
like
mean,
that.
how much more beautiful can it get
Yeah,
than that? You know,
yeah,
how much more community can you be in that?
yeah,
Like that is just, it's such a fantastic
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
And the accessibility about that just means that we're going to have more people to race out on track.
And it's real. More people playing, more
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so since we named the new Forza Motorsport, I want to know from 1 to 10, how much are you looking forward to the new Forza Motorsport?
10.
Okay,
I'm looking forward to it. You know,
very much.
it's been a while. What are we on, 6 years now with Forza
Mm,
Motorsport 7?
okay.
Which is still a good game. I still play that as well, because that's
Mm,
where you can get your racing fix in on
yeah,
Xbox.
yeah,
But the new one, um, there's so much more to look forward to. Um, you know, the graphics are always one thing.
yeah,
You know, your eyes are only as good as your eyes are going to be, no matter how fancy your TV or your system is.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
it's always nice to have, you know, nice graphics, more cars, of course. We talked about more accessibility, so now,
Mm,
um, you know, I really plan on taking some time off of work just so that I could sit down and
and
play the
play
new
it.
game. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very lucky at I didn't even had to look for it. And I don't look for it. Damn it, I didn't have to apply for it. I already have a free in October.
Yeah.
It's not right after the release of the game, but it's almost there, and I'm very happy. So I have a whole week I can try, and I'm going to play Forza Motorsport for the first time. I'm going to use a wheel,
Oh boy.
and yes, I'll take from my son. I so sorry. I wouldn't
That's all
believe
right.
it.
That's fun. But see, now that again, now it's a family game, right? Like all of a
Yeah,
sudden, yeah,
yeah.
that's how it was.
He used the wheel to play Farming Simulator, but give
That's
it
how it
more.
was for that's how it was for me and my boys. They grew up playing Forza,
Yeah,
and now they have sim rigs, and you know they're playing all
yeah,
kinds of other racing games and stuff like that.
yeah.
So yeah,
So I will give it a try.
yeah,
Really, I'm happy because it's going to be the first Forza Motorsport I'm going to play since the start. Because when I start playing Forza, even though I started with Horizon, but Forza Motorsport was already out
yeah,
in some 2 or 3 years. So yeah, so now this is going to be fresh also for me.
yeah. That's great.
Yeah, so I look forward. Now, I don't think I'm going to do anything serious, but just I don't think I'll do multiplayer. I mean, for because I don't want to play. I don't want to ruin other people's races.
No, you should definitely join in multiplayer and play with some folks in the community. You know, and then they have those big charity events. There is some funny stuff that
Mm,
happens. Like people are talking, you're just laughing most of the time. There are
yeah.
times there are times where I've laughed so hard during some
Mm.
of those big events because someone's talking in a different voice or what have you. I've laughed so hard I've almost crashed because I can't see. I got tears coming out of my eyes.
Man,
And
but
for
good to know. So if I ever do it, I would just start saying a lot of bullshit, so people would
yeah,
start
no, but
laughing. So I go.
that's how I met like a lot of people in the community, just by talking, laughing,
Yeah,
um, you know, and racing.
yeah,
It's really, really a good time. I definitely recommend you join the lobbies or get into a private match with some people in the
yeah,
community and just race. I think you'll
yeah.
have a great time.
For sure, I'm going to race with my guys, the ones that I usually play with. So
Yeah,
yeah, I'm sure that I'm going to do. Um, so let's go a little back from what's the about tuning. To go back, we just keep talking, and then I just see my no. We needed to go back. So when we talk about tuning a car, so I don't know anything about it. So you need to talk to me like I am five, literally.
Okay.
Yeah, five. Oh, so what's the first thing you do when you are tuning? Where do you start when you are tuning the car? What's
So
important?
yeah, it depends. For the most part, if I'm just going off and doing what I want to do,
Mm,
I will always make the car um, as light as I can
mm,
because a lighter car doesn't need to rely on a lot of other things. Like a Lotus, for example, is always a really lightweight car, and they can
okay.
corner like crazy because they're so light. Whereas you take, let's say, a new Mustang, it
Mm,
weighs a lot more than a Lotus, so it's going to have to
okay.
slow down to take a turn. So when you get to a track that has a lot of uh, S's or a carousel, for example, you need to have lightweight, and then the car needs to handle. And it has a
Mm,
lightweight car will always be more nimble as well. So
okay.
some of the first things I'll do is I'll add suspension parts. I'll put the race suspension on. I'll put the anti-roll bars on.
Mm,
I'll start thinning the car out as best as possible, and then of
yeah.
course that's all in the building process of where I want to go with the performance index or the PI, right?
Okay.
So if I want to make something B class, I'm very sparing as to what I can do because I also want to put a little bit into the motor, so I'm not going to be really slow all the time. But also, my emphasis most of the time is going to be on handling and making sure that people can drive the car well.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. For me, if I have a very powerful car that there is no handling, it's useless.
Yeah, yeah, and
Yeah,
it's
I
it's
under.
so it's so different with motorsport because we're going to see a lot of people coming over from Horizon that are going to be used to like these huge power builds and stuff, and that will
Yeah.
exist, but you do have to be able to tackle a racetrack because the track will have limits,
Okay.
and there's penalties and stuff like that. So having a well handling car is always my priority.
Yeah.
Um, so it really tuning really starts off with the build,
Yeah.
making sure you can get to that certain class that you want that car to be, whether it's C class, B, or A, and so on
Okay.
and so forth. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. So first thing is take some weight from the car, making it
yeah,
light. Okay.
right,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. A lot of the race components in Forza will automatically, if you're ever in the building screen, if you go to start with suspension, you'll see that the race suspension will automatically weigh less than
Yeah.
the factory or the stock
Okay.
parts.
Yeah.
So that all of those upgrades actually help the car in their weight.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. And do you prefer to drive front wheel drive, all wheel drive, rear wheel drive,
It
or
depends,
doesn't
yeah.
matter? Okay.
So I do love all the different types, and all the different types of characteristics. I try when I tune, I also try to keep some of those natural characteristics of the particular vehicle. For example, when you tune a Porsche,
Yeah.
it has its own special like way of feeling in the way that the car works.
Yeah.
I try to keep some of that in there so it doesn't lose its characteristics. Um, so I mean, front wheel drive cars are a lot of fun, especially when it comes to motorsport. You can make them grip really, really hard. You can do a lot of
Mm.
really good things with them, brake later, and so on and so forth. Then there's front engine, rear wheel drive cars where you can do a big power build with something like that. Like a 812 super fast Ferrari that is going to really hustle down a straightaway,
Yeah.
whereas the littler cars won't go as fast in that way. And then of course the mid-engine cars, with their weight distribution being almost 50-50 is really nice. I mean, that's a really good, but you tune all of them completely different, whether it would be oversteer or understeer, and each one needs to be tested before it's shared. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. And you test all of them.
all of them. I go
Have you?
into I go into telemetry,
Oh.
and I'll pick a certain track,
Yeah.
or most of the time it's like 3 or 4 different tracks,
Yeah.
and I'll go in and make sure that it has the speed to go down a straightaway, that
Yeah.
it can take turns, the real technical turns and the switchbacks and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Things I watch for in the telemetry is to make sure that the car does not bottom out. That can make things really difficult to drive because then the car is unstable.
Yeah.
It bottoms out, so not to make it too soft, but you don't want it to be too stiff. So I watch and rely on all the telemetry for that.
Okay.
I watch
Yeah.
the tire temperatures to make sure like the inside of the tire is not hotter than the outside or the middle. I try to make sure that the temperatures are as even as possible all the way across. And some of
Okay.
the cars, they're known for that kind of thing, like a Porsche, for example, where the engine's in the rear and it's also rear wheel drive.
Okay.
So they can launch really good because all the weight is right over the rear. And that's
Yeah.
that's a characteristic of Porsche right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, a lot of telemetry.
Okay. That's this way too complicated for me. It's easier just to look for a tune and take it. I appreciate you and everyone who tunes them because I
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah, and there's a lot of great tuners out there that
Yeah.
that that maybe that the community just doesn't know about. I definitely don't think, like I was ever one of the best or anything like that. It's just,
Mm.
thankfully I became who I am within the
Yeah.
Forza community. I'm very
Yeah.
grateful for everybody
Yeah.
who's downloaded and tried my work.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to those who I've let down if it doesn't work for you. I mean, but thanks for trying. You
Yeah.
know, um,
We
that's
can't
all.
please everyone. Yeah.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
thing is that I'm going to remain positive, especially
Mm.
with those kinds of reactions or reviews.
Yeah.
Um, I appreciate everybody, so
Mm.
I'll just keep doing what I do and so on.
Yeah. So now, besides Forza, so let's just change topic.
Okay,
What other games do you play?
so I like shooter games. I
Yeah.
like playing like a Call of Duty.
Yeah.
I like Red Dead Redemption, that kind of game
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that because there's just something funny about riding a horse
Mm.
in the woods and just like relaxing. I find that kind of role playing game
Yeah.
really fun. It's an
Yeah.
open world environment,
Yeah.
uh, and then there's some puzzle games that I've played and so on and so forth. Like over time,
Mm.
before we had kids, my wife and I would play Resident Evil. There was
Yeah.
no, that was on the original Sony PlayStation. There was no
Yeah.
like cheat codes or YouTube videos to watch to get
Yeah.
through something. So I always enjoyed stuff like that and playing with her, trying to figure puzzles and stuff like that out. Tomb Raider was another one that we played.
Yeah.
So those adventure type games for me are a lot of fun, and
Mm.
I like the Battlefield series and Call of Duty
Yeah.
a lot because it's up to you on what you're doing.
Yeah.
How you can sneak and stuff like that, and catch people by surprise.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, there's really nothing I won't play. But those overhead games, I don't like those games. That's all.
Okay. Okay. Have you, since this game has just been out, have you played Starfield?
No,
Mm.
I think I want to.
I
It
think you want to.
yeah, but the thing is like my time, between work, and what I do outside of work for other jobs that I
Yeah,
do, I I want to get involved, but then we got this new Forza coming out, and I'm like, well,
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
want to
I
jump in and
understand.
then leave. I'm like trying to like figure out like, okay, I don't want to get too involved.
Yeah, I
Um,
know. I haven't played for the same reason. I haven't started. I haven't downloaded. I know my kid played it, but I haven't.
yeah.
And
Well, and then I see
no.
people are recreating like famous spaceships from Star
Yeah,
Wars or
yeah,
all alien movies and stuff like that. And I was
mm,
like, wow, that's really cool. So like
yeah, yeah,
people are like customizing in like what you would do in Forza, but on spaceships. That's pretty
yeah,
cool.
yeah. I know. It's going to be very nice to see it, and it's nice to see what people are doing creating there because I'm pretty sure people create things the developers weren't expecting. They say, "Well,
Right.
people are going way above of what we were thinking they were going to do." I don't know. It's just
It's yeah, it's really
amazing.
neat. It's really neat to see. It's like event labs, right? Like where there's so many people that are so creative,
Yeah,
and there's all these new ways that
yeah,
they're able to express that.
yeah,
I think
yeah,
that's fantastic.
yeah, yeah. It's so I have had some blue blueprint creators. So yeah, some
Yeah,
people that make here, and then I'll always ask them how. How could you imagine transforming this thing in something else? Because I don't have this kind of creativity. I can't see so something and think, oh, but if I do this, I can create something else out of it. It's just like the same process. I think the guys that paint, they
yeah,
see all those shapes and they
yeah,
created so many. I can't. It's not my thing. My creativity, it's really from the other side of that. It's completely different the way I can
right.
create things. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I think that's where video games have really changed over the years is the fact that you're now able to be part of the game, whereas in the past, like if you were on a Nintendo or a PlayStation, the original units,
mm,
you played the game the way that the people who made the game make you play the game.
yeah,
And now with like Forza being able to allow a painter to make a livery on a car the way that they do, and
yeah,
Horizon, the event labs, how you can, I love the event labs where people make like photo studios
mm,
with all the lighting and the different backgrounds. I think
yeah,
that is
yeah,
like that's its own little niche of that
yeah,
whole community altogether. Then
yeah,
there's the racetracks, and then there's the off-road piece and stuff like that.
yeah,
I mean, honestly, to express yourself that way is fantastic.
yeah. And today we are recording this episode. It's when the Event Lab 2.0
Yeah,
is out. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what people are going to create because it's amazing. It's amazing. It's completely new. It's wow. It's huge what they are going, and they got their own island and everything.
yeah. I
It's
was I was
amazing.
out there earlier today, and it's just
Yeah,
this huge square. It's just blank, and you're
yeah.
just like people are running like everywhere. There's just like cars going this way, that way. There's people drifting. There's just drag races are happening. It, I could already see how many people were out there having a good time with it. Like, and
Okay, so
it was right away.
because I haven't I play a little today after the update, but I didn't go to the island. I didn't travel there.
Yeah,
So you can multiplayer there. You can be many people there, even though there is
yeah,
it's like a part of the map.
yeah. It was like its own thing. Like I said, it's like a big square,
Yeah, okay.
and you
I
just
thought you just could go there for building stuff. I didn't think you could just meet
yeah,
people in the
yeah.
same convoy or nay, server. I don't
Yeah,
remember
we
the
were
word.
we were out
Sorry,
in the yeah,
it's
out in
so
the
late
open.
here.
Yeah. It was is really funny. Go out there once. It's pretty silly. I liked it a
Hmm.
lot.
I will tomorrow, not today. I have some weird
Okay.
finish here. I'm straight to bed. No, okay, okay. I will take a look, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what everyone is going to create there because if they have done what they have done without it, just imagine with this island and the all new features and
Yeah,
everything new. It's amazing. It's going to be amazing. I am pretty sure it's going to be amazing.
it's pretty cool. It's pretty
And
cool.
Event Lab isn't my thing, but I am very excited about it.
Yeah. Yeah, again, it's it's not my thing,
Yeah,
but if I go out to one of those photo labs and I'm just like taking pictures and it makes my picture look like really good, I
yeah,
mean, I love
yes,
that. There's
yeah.
a lot of creative people out there.
Yes, 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 and I love it. I really love it. Well,
Hmm.
Jamie, thank you very much for being here and talking to me and sharing to everyone a little about you, Forza, and tuning and Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Yeah,
And
thank you very much for having me. I really
yeah,
appreciate it.
you are
That's
welcome.
it's an honorable thing to get asked by you to do an interview. So
Thank you.
I appreciate it very much,
Yeah,
and I love what you do for the Forza community. I
thank you.
think um, I think Forza is a lot better with you in it. That's for
Oh,
sure.
thank you. Thank you. Some people maybe not agree with you, but it's okay.
No, you do a good thing. You do a good thing. No one else is doing that. And you've had
Yeah,
some mega superstars in the Forza community on your
yeah,
show
yeah,
that people can see and hear where
yeah,
normally they wouldn't even know what how they existed that way. So
yeah.
what you're doing is fantastic.
Thank
Keep
you.
up the great work, and
I'm
I
trying.
I can't wait to see what else you do.
Yeah, thank you. And so if you want to help me to keep doing what I'm doing, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. It helps me a lot, really. Please, thank you. Well, bye
Yes.
bye, Dame, and bye bye, everyone. See you in the next episode. Bye.
Take care.